it will even be easier. So, naja, because it's, like very often it's also the chip damage thing, which we basically kind of avoid. I have to say the advanced enemy has advantages and also disadvantages. Naja, the disadvantage being that you might take chip damage, but the advantage having more security to not brick on your potion, especially if you bricked on your potion. So, no potion, no potion, no potion, and suddenly you really always find a potion here. So, it's also a hedge against not finding any good stuff. Yeah. Before I take the question mark, I do this, because question marks suck if you... I don't like it specifically, but I like it more than question mark with no shop. Question mark with no shop is horrifyingly bad. Okay, there's also another option. We can actually question mark before shop. Shop is always good. I mean, shop is always break even or good, right? Like if you get a remove, it's like not so great, but you know, whatever. But if it's if you get something offered like very nicely, a rare card on sale, suddenly it's a nice shop. Here's like a second enemy, third enemy, upgrade into Burning Elite. Now, if you remove and let's say you don't find correct cards and this... I mean, this can kill you. This can kill you. Literally. Literally. I mean, I'm not even sure whether the path is so great. And then there's another shop, but we already went to this shop. So that's not even helping. Like, what is really the disadvantage here? If you don't take the burning? Probably... none. Yeah, probably none. I mean, we can just go around the burning elite in Act 2. Or if it's a very late Act 2, we can also do that. Or in the Act 3, burning elites are not really more difficult than non-burning elites. Some exceptions, but the giant head shouldn't be different. No matter what iteration. Yeah, the snake lady usually also. How come we didn't boss swap? Yeah, because free common relic. They are just like some options from the Neo which are pretty busted. And I'm very willing, especially going for a 50-0, I don't want to just boss swap, but I take a look at the options and then I decide accordingly. Why is the only 50-0 only possible on the Watcher? Because 50 is a lot. No. You can also just blindly press the swap boss swap button. But what is actually correct is you take a look at the layout. You definitely take a look at the boss. The boss will also change things. Yeah, so here we need a little bit more HP, but whatever. Yeah, there are some Neo choices which are really, really good. Basically, all minus max HP options are pretty sick. Yeah, basically nearly all of them. It's really, really crazy. Because losing max HP on this Ascension is basically a no downside, which is kind of crazy. And naja, a relic for no downside. I mean, this is some pretty sick. Then there are some layouts where yesterday, for example, we took a Neo's choice because we had a double clean snipe. Yeah, like this is, of course you take that. Okay. Right. The burning. Oh, reading the game to know how strong you are at the moment is the most important advanced skill. Yeah, that's true. I mean, how strong you are at the moment and what your projected fights will be. It's super. I think what is very often difficult to understand when you actually are close to dying, and when you actually really take the risk to die. Like this. Well, if you're only close to dying, you do everything to become stronger. But if you're actually dying, you should do everything to survive. And those two avenues are a completely different thing. What? Double strike, double defend? No. Oh, and then also the micro. No, actually the bad. No, I think actually the highest skill is to play the fights. Yeah, to play the fights as well as possible. Lord Laser wants to eruption and kill. Yeah. Me too. So the left guy has less than 24 in total. Yeah, eruption on this guy and double strike on the right one, or... Yeah. I mean... Yeah. Okay. We kill right. Yeah, we kill right. We do it right? Or what? Am I sleepy still? This is 22. And this is 24. Just want to double check, because otherwise I take 16 and you're not so sure about the line, but... I mean, just... just this, right? Okay. Yeah, with the watcher it's very expensive if you mess up. So that's a garbage potion. Especially with this, right? Oh. Huh, we have a decision, what? I love Sense of Time. Especially with so much energy. Oh, it's also a clean solution against everything. Oh. Not so garbage with the Sense, yeah. Really. It's also so good against Guardian. What? Bunny Rap says since when? Since always, what? The Sense of Time. What do you mean since when? Yeah, okay. You mean in the late game. In the late game it sucks. Usually. If you are not Divinity. I mean, you know, you can still play it. But yeah, no, it's not a good card in the late game. But there's a very... I mean, you are regular. I mean, you should know the distinction between early game and late game. Like, this is busted early. Everything where there's a high damage count is busted early. Busted in, like, it's very, very good. Because in the early game, damage is very strong. Because the enemies have very low HP. Now, in the late game, the enemies have very high HP. But their attacks do not really change that much. To give you an outlook, the heart attacks you for 45, the knob attacks you also for 24. Like in the very late game and in the very early game, the difference of the attacks is factored 2. But the factor of the HP is like factored by 10 or by 8 or whatever. Or by 10 probably, yeah. So this card doesn't fall, like if the enemies would scale the HP as much as they scale the damage, this card would actually never fall off. Yeah. And so this, yeah. Early game picks are always extremely different from late game picks. Carnage with Retain, yes. I heard that's good. Also the Lagavulin. I mean, there is an enemy which waits for you 3 turns. Now, the Sense of Time reads every turn which is being waited. Alright. So, if I take the Sense of Time, we have a solution, then I would actually take the question marks, most likely. I think, right? Because if you take the Sense of Time is not a hallway card. Because in hallways, you usually want to kill turn 1, latest turn 2. If this is 4 energy, you can probably not deploy it. On 3 energy, you might already do